Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. Welcome. Especially welcome to new subscribers. So I've had a lot of new subscribers over the last couple of weeks, and if you're one of them, I could not be happier to have you here. So welcome. So today's reading is going to be with the New Earth Tarot, which is a round tarot by Kate Silver and Charlene DeLong. And it is, it's over here. So many decks here on my desk. Okay, so it is a beautiful round deck. We'll be working with it. And we will also be working with the Crystal Medicine Oracle, which is a round oracle deck by Rochelle Sharman. And it is absolutely gorgeous as well. And the images in here, if you've never seen these two together, I have like a walkthrough where I put them together. They're absolutely stunning when they're paired. And I've edged it in silver because it's so lovely. Okay, so to start with for this week, I had two Amenti Oracle cards jump from the deck at the same time. So the first that jumped is I Am Peaceful, which we've had before. So this one's really very much about reminding ourselves that we can choose that, to choose to respond to things rather than to react. So it's taking time to take a deep breath between a stimulus and our reaction or response to it. Pause and consider for just a second before doing anything. And personally in my life, I've found that if I can do that and remember to do that, and it is a constant ongoing practice that I'm always having to revisit, like a lot of things, right? But it will change the way things turn out tremendously. Okay, and the other one is I consume only my fair share, which is very timely. Both of these are very timely. It's 1 week until Christmas. Yeah, roughly, because we're reading for the week of the 15th through the 21st of December. So this is the week that's before Christmas. And I know a lot of people are probably feeling a tremendous amount of pressure to get everything done, not just at work, but also prepping for family and holiday. And there's a lot to put into balance and consider as we draw closer. Some of us do work that gets busier and harder before the holiday and around the holiday. So I'm just keeping that in mind too as I offer this. With I consume only my fair share, what is it that we take in that actually serves us, and what are the things that we take in order to numb us and to stop us from having to deal with the things in life that are kind of hard and that are difficult to look at. So this is really setting the intention to consume what is going to nourish our souls, what's going to nourish our creativity. Rather than to calm and relax the ego or numb the ego, numb the mind, numb the emotions, and so forth. So kind of a challenging one, right? Because there's so many ways in which we consume things in order not to have to feel or not to have to engage things. And I say that being just as guilty as anyone about that. And I'm always horrified when I realize I've been doing that. But it's something we all do, there's no point in feeling shame about it. It's just to admit, like, okay, that's going on. Can I make space to let that through and make a different choice? Or do I need to make that choice right now because it's not safe to make another one? But at least I know that I'm making that choice with a certain amount of awareness. Okay, so that said, let's find 3 cards for the week. Ooh-wee. Okay, so it looks like 2 cards jumped together. Oh, wow. Oh my God. Okay, so we have the 7 of Wands, which in this deck is an unusual one, and I will go ahead and just read a little bit from the book about this one because it's kind of a major one. But the 7 of Wands, it's about releasing things. It's definitely a card about releasing and letting things move on and move forward. I'm kind of laughing a little bit because also the other card that we have is the Eight of Mirrors, which is interestingly also about consuming only our fair share. It's mindful consumption. Is it something that is going to harm and throw things out of balance and make them toxic? Or is it something that is serving life, right? But I'd like us to see what is going on with the Seven of Wands a little bit more deeply. So the intention in this card is to be true to yourself. Oh my gosh, that's really great. All right, so let's see. You can feel good about your insistence on being true to yourself. This has taken much courage. It has not always been easy, but you have been a good support system of close friends and family that love you for who you are. The spirit always honors the truth. Feedback can be good, but remember who you're talking to. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just read the whole image, because this is one of those cards in the deck that can be very challenging because it doesn't read anything like a Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation of the Seven of Wands. So she says in this card, the 7 people of the tribe stand in mourning in celebration of a passing. Their deceased one is ready to go into the next stage of his eternal journey. The shaman holds her staff high, calling the spirits to come and find their new member to help it pass into the next world. Everyone stands, singing and chanting for their beloved to join with the Great Spirit. There's much support and hope here for the dead one because this person lived a life of courage and responsibility. The tribe honors him for the force and influence that he had. One of the women is pregnant. Okay, so she's this one in burgundy here that's kind of like the only one that's sideways. Reminding us that life follows death, symbolizing the constant regeneration of humanity on earth. Various traditions use a funeral pyre to burn the mortal bodies of deceased people. This is a vivid example of the use of wand energy in transformation. The fire turns the solid material body into soft gray ash that goes back into the earth. Okay, let's see. Fire's a cleanser. Sometimes we can journey forward. Sometimes before we can journey forward, we must let go. Yeah, that's the part that I was remembering as much as anything about this was like the cleansing and the letting go. So a very simple exercise to use for letting go is to write what you wish to release on a slip of paper, to sit in meditation with the paper for a time, and then cast it into the fire. The burning is a physical representation of one's process of letting go, and the intention is therefore to be true to yourself. Okay, so yes, being courageous, being true to ourselves, remembering that as we let go of things, new things come in. Yeah, wow. And that as we're doing that, we're also balancing that with the Eight of Mirrors, which is very much about, I think I'm going to say, with this card, that what we're looking at is, the choices of being true to ourselves. Is the thing that we choose something that is actually going to harm us? Or is it going to be something that's truthful and more cleansing? What do we want to bring into our material reality, from our spiritual one? Yeah. Wow. I and if you watch the previous reading, you will see that this is shocking. And in terms of like the overlap and how those are coming together, it's amazing. Okay. I think it's already pretty shocking when you see it just with the Amenti cards. Let's just have one more card, please, deck. One more. Okay, well, I got two. I got two that jump together, and they're very interesting choices. So we're gonna roll with it. We have the Three of Swords in this deck, which, as you can see, does not follow a traditional Three of Swords. This is much more about bringing together, three different trains of thought in a way that's collaborative, inspirational, and that actually brings the heart to life, right? Sometimes the way that we collaborate with others, in our thinking and in our way of moving forward, it can really, really yield some incredible things. In fact, because again, I love this deck so much because of her vision, is so unique. I would like us to look at what this Three of Swords stands for. She says, so thought-driven emotion, the flow of life force. So we can think our way into a happier place, right? And into a more heartful place. I am peaceful. We can always make this choice, right? To be peaceful. It's setting an intention, and it's taking that intention of thought, right? Which is what the swords stand for, and making it part of what the heart feels and part of what the heart's experience actually becomes. Okay. What else does she say? A mind-directed balance, the flow of life force. So, so this Three of Swords, knotting the strings of the heart. Yeah, which explodes in a wave of glorious glowing energy, connecting the individuals holding the three swords. Behind this is a calm, brilliant sky, which juxtaposes the masculine energy of the swords with the resonating blue of the feminine element of water. That is so beautiful. So let's see. So she also says in here, the air or mental qualities of three are greatly influenced by the heart in this card. When the mind is balanced, there is certainty and clarity. When the mind is out of balance, there is doubt and a lack of self-confidence. Wow. So those of you who saw the general reading with the Temperance card, that's a big, it feels to me like there's a big overlap there. Wow. Imbalanced thought will drive the emotion to imbalance. Here, the mental discipline of the sword is paramount. Balance must be maintained. If not, the emotion will plummet and the three will shift out of their harmony. Then she addresses the difference in this card because it's not three swords piercing and stabbing a heart. She says traditionally this card is seen as a problematic love triangle. However, this version also represents a positive example of three persons working in cooperation together to create a worthy outcome. It can also relate to a three-part decision or process with its beginning, middle, and end. Whatever the situation, it is imbued with the tension of amazing energy. So the intention here is to work together with others, keeping mental energy balanced and allowing the vital energy to flow. So very much a collaborative, collaboration card. So interestingly, this one comes up with this Four of Cups. And I love this Four of Cups. This Four of Cups has called me out on many occasions as I've used and worked with this deck. But this Four of Cups, when, it's frozen emotion. It's being in a place where we cannot access the heart because of hardening and toughening ourselves in order to try and keep something out. And yet it came up with this card, which is about making sure that we don't do that, making sure that we have the ability to find that flow, and to tap into that vital, beautiful heart energy. So I'm going to say with these two together, we're good. There, it is possible to defrost, right? We've got this beautiful warmth here. I'm sorry about the Band-Aid, everybody. I nicked my knuckles. I said this in the last video and I forgot about it in this one. I nicked my knuckles on a guillotine cutter when I was doing some bookmaking yesterday, and it bled a lot. It's not really bad. It's just that every time I bump against it, it opens. So I have to keep it covered, and it's just gross. Anyway, sorry about that. There is still the possibility to defrost, from the inside. There's still warmth at the core of the heart. But this icy outer layer we have to allow ourselves to defrost it. We have to be willing to let others in, If we stay in this place, we won't be able to get to this one. So looking at the week, right? Looking at how these come together, we're looking at coming back to a place of fierce authenticity, really, feeling capable of being ourselves, letting go of things that don't serve us anymore, and being willing to understand as we let that go that something new is always on its way in. Nothing's permanent. In other words, nothing is permanent. And as we take in that energy too, and we make choices moving forward, what are the things that will serve, a balanced environment, a harmonious environment, whether it's internal, external, and remembering too that those things are not separate. We're not separate from our environment. What are the choices that we want to make? And will they be things that become toxic, or are they things that are going to serve life? And then as we move forward with those decisions and with that authenticity, we're also working with the energy of combining thought with others in order to bring things to vitality. It's conflict resolution. It's the ability to listen and deeply connect with others in order to hear their thoughts, because we have to be willing to take in their ideas and thoughts if we're going to get to this place of vitality. And in order to do that, sometimes it means we've got to defrost. You're always capable. We've got this beautiful warmth right in the center of that card. It is always possible to open the heart a little bit. If we need to open the heart a little bit, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Count from 5 to 0 on every exhale. Stay with that number. Stay with the sensation of your breath, and allow that to guide you forward. Sorry, everyone. My partner just came home. We've got winter storms brewing up here in Missouri, and he'd gone out to do some work this morning and go to the grocery store and do all those things that you do. And so, yeah. By Rochelle Sharman. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and give them a shuffle and see if we can get a card to jump. Okay, so this reading has wanted to work in pairs today. There's just no way around it. I ask for one card and I get, 2 every time. I got 2 of these. I was going to just read 3, but we ended up with 4 cards here. And they jumped in pairs, and now we've got 4 that have jumped in pairs here. So the 2 that jumped for us are Teacher, which is beautifully represented by the wolf, and the stone, let's see, that is not a stone I'm familiar with, Shatakite. And we have, Cleansing, which is black tourmaline and feather. And black tourmaline, as many of you know, is one of my favorites. I always have chunks of it sitting around. I have a giant crystal, well, it's not giant, it feels big. It's a big crystal ball of black tourmaline. It's one of my favorites. All right, let's see what the book has to say. Okay, so here we go. So this is for number 30, Shatakite. It says, you have attracted this card into your awareness today, as it is time to connect deeply to your inner teacher. There is a saying that states, if you know the question, then you know the answer. In truth, everything we need to know lies within us. And at every given moment, we are able to tune into this inner wisdom for guidance and knowing. We are all connected to the collective consciousness and the all-knowing universal energy, and within this energy, all truth is held. You are your biggest teacher at this time. You are also being called to teach others from this space, as it is a part of your life's calling to share your knowledge. Do you often look for answers outside yourself, yet you know the answer is within you? Do you feel doubt and a lack of trust when it comes to listening to your own guidance? Do you feel life naturally teaches you through your experience? Do you feel a passion to share your knowledge? Have you been pondering whether or not to follow the path of a teacher? This is a confirmation that you are the teacher. And page turn. Oh no, I lost the page. Yes, you are the teacher. And here we go. You have everything within you to follow this path. You are currently learning some big lessons, and soon you will share this knowledge with the world through conversations, books, social media, or even in a workshop setting. Either way, it's time to honor your inner teacher and share your wisdom with the world. If you've been asking for a teacher to come your way, know this can also be a sign that your teacher has arrived. What does she say to us about cleansing? She says, this sacred medicine has shown up for you today as it's a sign. It's time for a cleansing on all levels, right? Mind, body, and spirit. Just as it's important to cleanse our physical body when we get dirty, it's also important to cleanse your energy bodies. The human system contains a sensitive chakra system in an auric field made of energy, a field that can be sensitive. Oops, sorry there, getting woohoo. A field that can be sensitive to other vibrations. Have you ever experienced a feeling of walking through a crowd and suddenly your mood is changed? Or of walking into a room and you sense an uncomfortable feeling? Yeah, what is happening here is a sensing and feeling of the thought forms and energy of others, which can be held in our own field and cause confusion and imbalance. Have you ever been feeling flat, burnt out, unmotivated, or simply just not feeling yourself? Your energy may be stale and heavy, or you may have had a recent disagreement with someone and not be seeing eye to eye with them. Okay, so these are strong signs that you are taking on energy and it's time for a purification. This can be done with a simple cleansing process, working with medicines such as sage, black tourmaline, salt water, and natural waterways, etc. Yeah, so we're being encouraged to spend some time cleansing and clearing out energy, moving things on, right? Again, this possibility of working with some fire energy, right? So there's some overlap immediately here. Cleansing and purifying as well. I feel like these three really go together. So we have the Eight of Mirrors and the Seven of Wands here that are talking to us and speaking to us deeply about cleansing energy, right? So cleansing could be letting go of what we don't need anymore in order to find more authentic space. And then also contemplating how, our immediate environment really, really works with energy. Are we bringing in, are we toxic? Are we life affirming? Yeah, paying very close attention to that. Wow, that's amazing. I'm always shocked by these readings. And this one to me speaks of the teaching. The teacher for this one seems very clear. This one is definitely this could be about sharing knowledge. It could also be about combining wisdom, combining insights in order to find greater flow. And anytime we're teaching, a friend and I were just talking about this the other day, that anytime we're teaching, we really feel that it tends to melt the heart. If you're not operating through a space where you teach or inform, and keeping in mind that all parenting is teaching, all managing people is teaching, all training people is teaching, and frequently when we're sitting listening to somebody, just in the capacity as a friend, or an advisor, there's often some form of teaching that's going on there, even if it's just leading through your example. Leading through example is a very, very powerful way of teaching. And so when we have an open heart and we have a fluid, heart space that's whose energy flows, we're in a much more capable space of connecting with our own inner teacher and, with that valuable life force that others have as well. Okay, so a lot of deep stuff coming up this week. This ended up being 1,000,000 times longer than I expected, but there was just so much here. So, yeah. All right, everybody. I wish you the most beautiful week coming up, and may we all find what serves life and what serves our own goodness and ability to share that with others. All right. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.